The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Friday, December. No, it's not December. I gone just like a movement. It is April 10th. It's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is C.A. Newry, and I shall be your host for today. I have some exciting guests in studio and some exciting guests on Zoom. So I'm just waiting on to connect and make sure that they're here so they can participate in this conversation. But in studio, I have Robin Lyburn.
Yes.
Right? We've known for a while, but all of a sudden he just went missing. And I said, but where are you? I saw him on social media. I said, where you at? He said, man, Newry, I'm in Africa.
Indeed.
And I said, what you mean you doing in Africa? We used to work together. What you doing in Africa? He said, I'm doing some connectivity work there where I am connecting to Ghana, being specific.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And forming some kind of lines in trade with the Bahamas.
Correct.
So I said, man, I need to get you on the show so you can explain your journey to Africa. Then and also you can explain what you mean this connectivity and trade and business and logistics. I want to get on that. And this is where you're a guest because you have some people in Africa.
Yes.
Who's going to be on Zoom.
Yes.
I think we have one person inside the United States also who should.
One in the States, one in Nassau, two in Ghana.
Okay. So I'm going to have you introduce them later on, but I want to get your story on how you get to Ghana. But first of all, I got to legitimize you of being Robin Lyburn Bahamian.
Indeed, yes.
And
full
then,
Bahamian,
yes.
100%.
Tell that
if you
story.
want to call it organic or whatever you is.
Yes.
Full 100% Bahamian, born and raised in Nassau. My parents, Ruth and Robert Lightborn. Right? It's always been something that's been a part of me. I want to start by repeating something that Kwame Nkrumah, first president for Ghana, right? He said, I am African not because I am born in Africa, but because Africa is born in me, right? So I'm a Bahamian, I'm full Bahamian, but it's always been something in my head. You know, as a child, even just watching National Geographic Channel, and, you know, they see the animals, they show parts of Africa and so forth. I've always had an affinity for it. You know, and then even watching the Rwanda stuff in the 90s. I'm an 80s baby, right? I'm telling my age a bit, but I'm an 80s baby watching. So as an adult, you know, I started doing my own research, my own outlook, right? In the Bahamas here, we have cultures like Rastafari that, you know, it's close to Africa, always talks about Africa and so forth. So the music always brought me close to it, right? And so the story really kind of take root in terms of my connection to Africa in college. Weirdly enough, in Missouri.
Okay, just going to say you say college, you got to tell me specifically so that my listening audience can appreciate your journey. Go ahead.
So Missouri, I went to college. I went to UB first at the age of 17 graduating, and then 18 went into the U.S. into Missouri Valley College. Right, so I've never did history, you know, in school, social studies, but never really deep history, right? And so this first semester, I'm doing history 1, right? And this is the white professor, and it's telling me about starting the course about American history and talking about the slave part of it. She started and stated one thing that took me down a rabbit hole that's brought me here to this day, right? She stated that, well, asked the question first, why do you think slavery, lasted so long, right? And she said, of course, it was through force, guns, chains, all of those type of things. But then she also stated something that rang a bell and stuck with me. She said that through removing the memory of who they are, keeping information and knowledge away from them, right, was the other component to it. And I pitched up in the class, and I like, do y'all hearing this? All right, so for me, it's like some of that seems to still be going on now. And so this is back in 2008. Right, I'm now 18, still fresh, but inquisitive mind. Always wanted to delve deeper into the stories. And so I started researching. I just started researching history, just started researching as much as I could find out about beyond the slave story, beyond what's told to us, even from the religious, the spiritual part of it, the cultural aspects of it. And it took me down some rabbit holes that caused me to start building a system or building a operation or an idea, and how do then I reclaim back this identity that apparently was kept away from my ancestors, my great-great-grandmothers, and so forth. So it took me into shipping and logistics, right? And so now 2011, I launched a shipping company called Starline Logistics, which was, for me, named after Marcus Garvey's shipping company, Black Star Line. And so it's always been in my head again, Africa. How do I connect back to Africa? And then I'm understanding the cultures are similar, and I'm reading these things. I'm only reading it, at this point in time, but it seems to resonate. It seems to cling. It seems to make sense in terms of the cultural connection, in terms of the deep rootedness, and it kind of contrasted to what I was experiencing here in the Bahamas. We are 70-80% predominantly African ancestry country, but it seems to be more on the quieted side, the African aspects of who we are, right? And so I've always wanted to highlight that, and then so going into the shipping logistics industry and trying to build infrastructure and systems around trade that allows us to actually enter the market of the African region for us to get products back and forth. And then you learn and understand most of the world manufacturers, producers, they shop in Ghana too for raw materials, raw resources.
Well, how did you get to Ghana? And why Ghana?
So we want to get closer to that, right? And so connected with a partner of mine, Chris Davis. Always known him from a long time, right? He was a researcher and history person as well. And we started doing podcasts around, trying to figure out some of the answers that we always talked amongst ourselves, right? And so we talked now 2017, 16, 17, right? We didn't get to put a lot of it out, but it gave us the opportunity to develop a focus on, okay, we know the history parts that we need to kind of rewrite. How do we do that? So incrementally, we separated, and he developed a idea around an NGO that is revolved around research and history, right? History research and retelling that history research. And so this is what birthed Sankofa Flamingo, right? Sankofa being the Akan word for, got to go back to and fetch, to know where you come from, right? Flamingo being of course, our national bird. We know what it looks like. They move as a flock, they move together, and so Sankofa Flamingo is to mean that, right? And so 2021 now, fast forwarding, the research got to the point where, okay, we need to go on the ground. We need to go and see some people. Connected to one or two Ghanaians who came here to Nassau, to the Pompey Museum. This is where Chris Davis was working at the time. Met the gentleman, and apparently they were actually on that side. Him and one or two of his partners were working on connecting the festivals, condom festivals, fancy dress festivals, to our Jonkanu festival, because somehow it looked similar. Mm-hmm. Similar dances, similar costumes. And so it rang a bell on both sides that something is there that brings that connection fully there. We know the story that we told. John Canoe came to the Bahamas as a slave, and that's how John Canoe came here and so forth. These conversations between Chris Davis and the other partner and us discussing, it evolved into, it has to be something more to that story, right? And so September 2021, Chris and his wife, they made the first transit over into Ghana, right? And Ghana was the first place because it is our closest connection. To the history that Chris Davis has corroborated, we were able to confirm that there are 3 slave ships that came directly from Ghana, Cape 3 Points, that came to the Bahamas. This is during early 1700s, 1721 being the first one. This laid the foundation of our Bahamian culture, which is African Bahamian culture, right? Population was very small. We came at about 100 or so enslaved Africans. By the third vessel, it was the majority of Africans that was here in the Bahamas. So that impressed a huge influence in terms of some of the cultural aspects. And again, so that's why Ghana was the place that we went into, and specifically West Ghana, the Hunter region, on Cape 3 Points, right? So understanding this, we just hopped on a plane. We decided, okay, we're going to go talk to some people over there. We're going to do the research. We're going to connect back as much as we can. For me, it was a full circle because we did the research, and then I was able to go and develop some of the economic aspects, which now brings into the trade and then the logistics components of it, right? So 2021, started the movements into Ghana. First trip was Chris and his wife. Second trip was Chris, his wife, and I in August. And that is what mushroomed into what you see now, an ambassador for Ghana. We now have a published book that can speak to the research between Junkanoo, between the Bahamas, between the Ahanta people and the Bahamians. We also now have the Smithsonian has taken the whole story along as well too. Junkanoo has now been named as an official festival for the Bahamas that is connecting us to Africa. So a lot has mushroomed just off of us taking the whim to say we got to go follow the story. You got to follow directly into the heart of Western Hunter region and figure out what is the truth behind this Junkanoo story.
Now, then, how did you end up moving? Because, like I say, you were missing for a while. You left your good job here. Because I know you in corporate Bahamas type and then logistic business, but you basically immigrated to Ghana. Forget everything. I going to live in Ghana. Like, what caused that? And what happened when you decided I'm going to live in Ghana for a bit?
So all of that backstory was just to state that I've always had this affinity, and I didn't know that I was going to do it. But in now the second year of us now doing the research, getting heavily excited over the conversations that we're having over there, meeting people, connecting potential economic pathways to develop, trade between the countries. And I'm like, okay, I need to be on the ground. I need to somehow be on the ground. So during some of the travels, I also met a beautiful lady. Mm-hmm. Of course, now us as men, women will give a huge influence in some of our actions, responses, right? So I met a young lady and we fell in love, and I decided to have a daughter, and very intentionally, right? Because that was another pathway for me to ensure that Africa was me, and Africa is a doorway that I could enter, right? So some of the progress that we were projecting wasn't happening fast enough for me. And at the same time, I was starting to have, like I said, a daughter. Our daughter was born in last year, September. 2024, September.
You have an African daughter.
An African Bahamian daughter, right? And so I couldn't hold on him. I'm a type of person, I'm patient, but I'm a goer, I'm a doer, right? Chris has been to go in meetings, he states that he's a talker and I'm the walker. We wasn't walking enough. It wasn't enough doing in terms of, we already established an agreement, an economic agreement between Ghana and the Bahamas. We've already established this. Not enough for me was happening. And so I said, okay, you know what? I have my place there. I need to go over there. I need to go and put my foot in the ground, experience some things, try this, try that, continue connecting the dots, continue meeting people, continue developing the trade corridor. And so I just said, you know what? I got to go. And what afforded it also, because I work with CLX Logistics as the major backbone for the logistics infrastructure. They saw the vision. They saw what was going on, what I was involved with, and was able to share that vision. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, let's get you over there. Let's get you on the ground. Let's see what we could develop. And so I hopped on the plane and I said, no, I'm coming back until
now. So you moved to Africa, you was living in Africa, and then you start developing your business, and then you start networking. And this is where the people we have on Zoom now, we're going to have them join into this conversation. Now, I want you to give me the parameters of your business, right? And how these people, and forgive me, I didn't get their names, you can introduce them formally for me. How the Africans, the Ghanaians, I think I pronounced that right. Ghanaians, how they got involved in the business that you're doing, and what is it that you're trying to do when there's connectivity with Ghana and the Bahamas?
Boy, sometimes I'm still trying to develop and explain this whole thing because it's an entire ecosystem, right? It's not just developing trade, just buying products, finished products to sell in the market over here and shops or whatnot. It's an entire ecosystem, right? One that involves reshifting, revitalizing, realizing the mindset that where we are and moving to one that allows us to embrace what is Africa and what is happening across the continent right now, gateway being Ghana, right? And so I developed a few assets that helps to unfold the business of trade, of logistics, and then developing the whole economics around it, right? So as I'm in Ghana, meeting with the sister city president for the Ghana region, I met my first contact, young gentleman. He's not on the call at this moment, but I have to speak to him because he was someone that I connected with initially, His name is Richard Mensah. Young Ghanaian. He has a serious business mindset, and he wanted to follow the connections that we were speaking to and was developing, right? And so we decided to develop a trade show, right? And me and Richard connecting with different suppliers, different manufacturers of products like shea butter, juice, cocoa, all kind of cocoa products that you could think of. Steel, wood, building materials, connecting with these people now and looking to develop how do we then connect them to buyers in the Bahamas, the persons who want products to manufacture and produce and to finish final product with themselves. So we came up with the idea to develop a trade show, an actual physical trade show where we bring some Caribbean people into the Bahamas. Into Ghana. That mushroomed into 2025 April. We did the trade show. And so the two Ghanaians that you actually see on the call now, Queen Majana, are they able to speak in while
they're live now. They're waiting on you now to introduce them.
So Queen Majana, she is a jewel designer in Ghana, and she connected with us via the trade show. She had a booth set up, so she was interacting with some of the Caribbean people that we had come out to the trade show. I had her meet some of our officials that came from the Bahamas as well. We connected. She does marketing as well too, and I like to see some of her jewelry pieces in the Bahamas, across the Caribbean. I'd love to have seen her connected with some of our designers here and being able to create authentic African Bahamian products. So we connected. We resonated with each other, and so she's coming on to do. So she's on the team also as well. We also have on the call Melissa Ghana. Melissa Ghana is someone who I connected with while living in Ghana because she actually shares the same fervor that I have. But she's from the Caribbean. She is from Guyana, right? Living in Ghana herself. Living in Ghana.
She's from Guyana and living in Ghana.
That's right, exactly. Living in Ghana. And so shares the same drive. How do we reconnect back to our roots? How do we make it thriving? How do we make the economics make sense for us all? Right, and so she has been on the continent there in Ghana for a few years doing her business, and promoting the connectivity, assisting people getting situated there in Ghana. Two different reasons it means for your visa, if you need to be real estate, all other aspects that needed. So she's coming on board as well to assist in those parts of it. You have Mario Lawn. Mario Lawn, he's a Bahamian. He's living in Las Vegas. And he worked with us with Sankofa Flamingo, the NGO, from a digital marketing perspective, from an artistry perspective. He's heavy in Junkanoo. He believes in what is the true story of Junkanoo. And so he connected further with us. He's on the team now to provide digital marketing as well as some animation behind the stories that we're going to be providing and telling to assist with the promotion of the whole business and ecosystem.
Okay, so let's formally introduce or welcome the guests that you have.
Sorry, one more person. They're not in Ghana, but this is Gabrielle Murphy. She's a Bahamian, a young Bahamian. Recently came onto the team. I've been seeing some of the activities that we've been doing on the promoting it. A lot of the Reclaim to Realize campaign aspects, and so she's come on as a young entrepreneur, young digital projects.
Okay, so let's start off with our first guest, and you can say which one you would like to speak first. But I want to know, what is their objective? What is their insight? What would they see as possibilities through this business that you have in Ghana and the connectivity to the Bahamas?
So Queen Majana, we're gonna have her come on first from the most lowest lying fruit. Like I said, she's a jewelry designer. Right, and she is accessible to real gold, right, to the source of where to go. Ghana gold, of which was Gold Coast.
The Gold Coast.
Interestingly enough, they say there's more gold under the ground in Ghana than there's ever been mined still to this day. Right. So she, as a jewelry designer, she sees the opportunity to expand her market share, her footprint within the global market as well, tapping into the Caribbean. Right, working with different artists here as well, developing unique pieces as well. So she is definitely seeing from that perspective, but also she shares a strong mindset of true African, right? A true African in terms of the cultural part of it. And so to bring on that component, to remind us of who we are with the identity, is one of the main components as well too that she does for us.
And this is Queen
Majana.
Queen Majana, you there? Give her a minute to connect. Queen Magella, can you hear me? Just making sure she can hear us. And of course, she's in Ghana at this present time. And we have three guests who's via Zoom. And we're trying to make sure we connect with them so we're able to hear their story and understand their objective in terms of what is it that they're trying to accomplish with this connectivity to the Bahamas. So, Queen.
Sure thing. Ready to continue.
I'm hearing somebody.
Queen, are
I'm
you
sorry,
there?
that's me. Good. It's Melissa.
Oh, Melissa. Let me start off with Melissa since I can hear actually you. Is Melissa the Bahamian or Melissa is the one in the United States?
Melissa is
I'm Guyan.
The Guyanese
Guyanese in
Guyanese who live in Ghana, who works between sorting out everyone's situation. So you've been living in Ghana for a while, right? You've joined the team, and I'm trying to understand the possibilities for Bahamians to invest and possibilities for Bahamians to move to Ghana and in terms of opportunities. Are there any opportunities for Bahamians to go to Ghana and start a business or trade?
There's more than 1,000,001 opportunities for everyone in the Caribbean. I won't just specify one particular country, but yes, your country, man and woman, there's so many possibilities. Like my brother says, almost endless possibilities here. Whether you want to open a food joint or you have real estate ideas, clothing, if you want to be a stylist, hairstylist, nail tech, whatever, there's plenty of opportunities. You just come here with the skills, and the idea. Sometimes you don't actually have to be the one who's doing the work. You can come with the idea as a business owner, and then you can hire people to work for you.
Okay, so I can actually come with an investment plan and say, well, I want to open up a business in a business. Is it hard to start a business in Ghana?
I have to be totally honest. Yes and no. Yes, it's very difficult as an Afro-Caribbean diasporan because they see you a little bit different than other people who are not African, and it can be a little tricky. So yes, it can be, but the great way to actually get around all the challenges is to network and know people. You have to have people on your team who are local people who know how to speak the language, who knows how to maneuver and greet well, and also have people like myself who have experienced the things that you possibly want to avoid. So it could be challenges. It depends on which route you want to go. Don't come and think that, oh, I got this. I saw something on YouTube or social media. Now I know what to do. That is not the best advice I would give you. Come in, open-minded, kind of close your mouth some, and be ready to work.
Bahamas is familiar with import export, renewably and then resell it, right? I want to know, is there any opportunities for Bahamians who say, man, I don't necessarily want to go to Ghana to live or to invest yet, but I want to buy some stuff and ship it to the Bahamas and resell. How can I go about that?
You have the key person right there in your studio who can actually help you with that. But for that's a good way of seeing it. Let's say you're not ready, your nerves or whatever it is you might have that's facing some kind of fear. You can actually, let's say, shea butter. Shea butter is it's like a booming thing. People think it's only for your skin. You can actually use shea butter for cooking too. So you can actually buy it here in Ghana, really affordable. I won't say cheap, but really affordable, even though the prices have been going up lately, but it's still affordable. And then you can repackage it with your own personal brand over there and sell it and make a profit. Same thing as I was mentioning waist beads. I don't know how big it is
No, waste piece
there,
is
but
big
the
now.
fact that you guys are yeah, it's big now, but here's the thing. You guys are a tourist country. I've been there a few times. It's like, one of the top places that a lot of people say, okay, I want to go to an island. Where do I go? There. You can actually get authentically made in Ghana or made in Africa waist beads, not the plastic one the children them make, but real sturdy ones. They last for years. Get them super cheap here in Ghana and resell them 10 times the value of what you paid. So imagine you buying, let's say, 100 waist beads, and you're paying, I mean, like $20 for 100, depending on the style. And you resell one of them from $10 to $20, depending on who your target is. You making it's ridiculous how much money you can make just with that, example.
Is there, like, let me ask Librarian here, is there a place where I can see the typical products, like the large range, so we'll see it? Like you say, a trade show type thing, that as a Bahamian, person from the Caribbean, but I do not know what Ghana has available. How do I make that happen?
So we will be launching very soon AfriCarib Now, which will be that portal place you can see the catalog and start to look around as to what's available there. You do have one or two sites that you can visit as well. AFTCA, I'd say, is another one. Africa Free Trade Continental Area. Right? They have been connecting across the continent, different producers, different manufacturers, product supplies that you would look for as well, and can help and assist connect. So those are two that's going to be coming soon. So I'm going to say africaribnow.com. You can begin looking around and seeing what availability that you have across there. Now, I will say too, there's opportunity in something like what you just asked, right? You talked about where people who do import export. We have tech savvy people here as well too. There's a lot of space also for moving where Ghana is from a lesser developed to more developed space. Tech solutions. This is one thing I'm moving into, and so I'm looking for partners that are in that space that can help me actually display these things as we need to be. As we're going to the different producers that we confirming this information, we need to present it differently too.
Okay, you have more guests online. Introduce one more so we can, because my child wanted to go to a university in Africa, right? She doesn't know how. We don't know how. Is there anybody on site in Ghana to say, hey, I can obtain that information and help you move through? How would something like that happen?
I don't know if Queen is now back on. I definitely say Sankofa Flamingo. We've been making some movements in terms of the universities there and connecting and looking to develop some recruitment programs as well too, right? And so that's not fully there as yet, but you have the direct communication to the University of Kwame Nkrumah. Cape Coast University was one of the best across the whole continent. UC, University of Cape Coast. And so you go direct to the universities, but we are developing a program that allows for exchange university students to spend a semester there, and persons who want to actually register and try to search around what's going on, comprehensive space as opposed to going individually. So that also is being worked on.
Okay, so I'm just.
But I mean, I would say too, the ambassador to Ghana, he is a good resource person as well. We do have we've had one. An ambassador consulate to Ghana who could help and assist at the same time with those type of directions and information.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the Zoom line and trying to confirm who else is on there. I know Melissa is there. I know we at one point in time just logged on, but we're getting off and on. Just want to confirm who else is there so I can bring them into the conversation. Just Melissa at this present time? Okay, so we lost them. So we can continue to speak to Melissa. Melissa, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. And also, if people are seeking information as far as studying over here as well, they can, tap in with me, and I'll help them with that as well. Get the information.
Might as well give some contacts so in case people are listening now, so we can get that, Melissa.
Repeat that one more time, please.
Your contact so people can get in contact with you.
I'll give my WhatsApp number. I think that's the way to go. So it's 233-55-925-8423.
Do it one more time
that's
for
in
me.
Ghana.
Do that one more time for me.
So it'll be plus 233-55-925-8423.
And I want to ask you, Melissa, you're a woman moving from Guyana, the Caribbean,
I would hope so.
South America, right? Why did you just chose Ghana, and how was your transition in terms of setting up life and say, hey, I'm going to survive, I'm going to open up whatever business you have there, and I'm going to thrive. So why did you choose Ghana? Why did you choose to go to Africa? And how quickly were you able to establish yourself to say, well, I'm surviving now?
Full disclosure. So I think it's more of for me, it's a spiritual calling to come back home because if you know the history of forcefully taken from the soil, my bloodline is here in Ghana and some parts of Nigeria, but mostly Ghana. So I'm back home. So it was a spiritual calling for years. I've been avoiding it. So um, I came a couple years ago just to, feel it out. And once I reached, it was like, it's something about it. It's that first inhale, like, oh, you feel like you reach home, like, may reach. So that was the calling for me. It was a spiritual calling. I didn't have all the answers of why, what, where. I didn't know. But I know for a fact that I did not want to be kind of trapped in the whole colonization rat race. I completed 2 university degrees. I worked. I did all the things our parents want us to do, especially in America. And I was just like, this is not for me. It wasn't for me. So I decided to come to Ghana, which is coming home, and it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy, especially being a woman out here on your own. And there's a stereotype they have about you, oh, you are American, and I have to rephrase it. I am not, but it's okay. Um, as far as getting situated, you don't really get situated comfortable within the first 8 years, to be honest. There's some up days and there's some down days. I guess the best way to go about it is to surround yourself with people who mean well. Keep going, have a plan, have backup plans. And the survival, I always tell people, I'm surviving Ghana because you have to know what it feels like. You have to be on ground to understand when I say Miss Surviving Ghana, but as a woman, it can be tricky, because sometimes there's this picture, this I guess, stereotype of you being, again, a foreign black um, woman here. They definitely treat you different, and you got to like really stand your ground. Like, look, I am from this soil. I don't care what you say, what you think. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm grateful for my Caribbean background. I'm a strong warrior, so they can't beat me. They can't, can't move me. So, it is something that I say that it's not for the weak. To
So
be quite honest, it's not for weak.
you being
Go ahead.
female, living originally from Guyana, what opportunity you see for Caribbean people? Caribbean people say, I always want to go to the continent. I'm going to choose Ghana as the place where I'm going to pivot from, right? But what opportunities readily, where you say, man, you come here, you can take advantage of this automatically?
As I stated before, there's many opportunities depending on where you want to go. Do you want to go into real estate? Do you want to go into you name it, it's here. The thing is, well, it's so funny. It reminds me of people who are in the Caribbean. They always want to run and go abroad, go to US, go Canada, and wherever. And I'm just like, you have everything you need right there in your own land. And here, there's money in Ghana. There's so much money. You have to look at it this way. Ask yourself, why are the Chinese, the Lebanese, uh, the European, why is everybody coming here in Ghana? Not just Ghana, but other African nations. But why are they coming here and making it? Whereas those who are from this soil are running from it. It's the same thing back home for me. I watch people in Guyana, they always want to go America, go UK, whatever. And there's money there. It's just that you have to have a plan. You have to connect with the right people. So again, there's plenty of opportunities here. You just have to know what is it you want to do and who you should connect with.
We're talking to, that's Melissa from Guyana.
Melissa.
Melissa from Ghana.
Yeah.
I think we have one more person who joined in on the Zoom. We're talking to Robin Liburn, who's a Bahamian, who have matriculated to Ghana. He has a family there. He has a business to go back and forth from Ghana to the Bahamas. And we are talking about opportunities that Bahamians can go and invest in. But let me see who else is on the Zoom. Go ahead. I'm not sure. Melissa, you help me. Who else is on the Zoom? I'm not in front of any computer.
Here. There is, it looks like, is it Gloria, is it Glopa? Or I'm not sure.
Okay. I didn't know she was going to make it, right? So we have on the call as well. Is a business owner. She's a manufacturer of shea butter, of our branded shea butter products in Ghana at this moment. So this is one of the avenues that opening up for people in the Bahamas, across the Caribbean. So Gloca Cosmetics, I'm going to let her come on for a second. Gloca Cosmetics is a Ghanaian African brand that produces health and beauty products, with shea butter being one of the base, right? And so she is now my supplier, producer in Ghana, and we're going to be connecting, developing other products around health and beauty. Is she there? If she wants to speak, this is someone who I met actually through a guy. This is his niece. He's a teacher at Kepler International.
Okay.
So I've known him for some time. He actually, but I've known him for years. And so he knew I was going over there. And he said, "But I need you to meet my niece. You need to meet her." I met her. I love the product, what she's doing. She's a young Ghanaian African lady who is making her own business. And is from scratch. So she travels to the north to get the raw shea butter, and she produces it into a finished product. And this is a product that could stand on any shelf across the globe. It has a nice scent. It's the rich, authentic, real shea butter. And so we started connecting and producing and selling some of the products here now in Bahamas.
And what's your name again?
The Gloca Cosmetics is the business.
The Gloca, are you there?
Mohammed.
Yes, I'm here.
No, it's good and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. I want to talk about your experience dealing with Robin, first of all, right? And opportunities that Bahamians can take advantage of if they come and meet you, come and engage you in terms of your shea butter business.
Right. I think it's been amazing working with Ruben. He actually opened my eye to the international market, especially the Caribbean. And since we met, I've not really downplayed the connection because it's all about business. And we want to prioritize the organic Ghanaian African beauty. The reason why we work with the raw produce from Ghana, so especially shea butter and few other produce from Ghana. You just know that anytime you get in contact with Gloca Cosmetics, you are getting organic stuff that enhances beauty, because we want everybody to be more confident in their own selves, regarding their hair, skin. But they're doing that with the Ghanaian produce that we have. So yeah, basically it's been one of a good deal.
So for businesses who want to get in contact with you and want to import some of your product, do we go through like a Robin or do you have a website? How does that work?
Yeah, for now, if any Caribbean actually wants to do more business with us, I think it would also be perfect if we get it through Robin. But aside that, I also have a website where you can read more about our products and all other information that you will need. Probably. So get www.glocacosmetics.com. You get to read more of our produce there.
Okay. And your business is mostly about cosmetics?
Yes. It's mostly cosmetics.
Okay, good. So, Robin, now that we have contact with, I think it's Gloria, you say the name was?
Gloca Cosmetics is the business.
How do we get that product from you or get in contact to Gloca Cosmetics and say, okay, I want to import some of this African shea?
So I'm going to give a few contact details. And so one of our distribution platforms is Ba Africa. It's an e-commerce business that is up and running right now. You can go to the website and see what products that we have now. We have some online, but you can also, other products here now, as well as the Gloca Cosmetics. So you can order directly from there. We do delivery. You could pay via the website as well. You can also come contact me direct. 434-1135 via WhatsApp. You can also go to AfriCarib now. AfriCarib, AFRICARIB, now.com. Sign up, register, whether you are as a distributor of some of these products. When you want to, if you want to white label the products, you can come in as a distributor. Whether you are in Ghana, Africa, or anywhere in the Bahamas, Caribbean as well, because this isn't just a one way. We are seeking to get produced, manufactured goods, products that are Bahamian owned, Bahamian made, into the African Caribbean, African market as well. So Africa now, AfriCarib now is not just a one-way street. This is trade. Trade goes both ways. So connect via the website, connect me via the WhatsApp, and let's have a conversation. So let's get you connected into the ecosystem that we have going on right now.
Now, this the Great Return and Ghana. There are a number of Bahamians who want to visit Ghana. They don't know how. They just don't know where to start and whether they need to go to the United States and have some American tour guide system book them. Mm-hmm. But is there any type of local contact here where Bahamian can say, man, I want to go Ghana? And they create a outline as to what all they must do before you go, what all you must see when you reach. Does it exist as yet?
Through the portal that we're creating right now, it exists. And my contacts that are online at the moment as well assist with as receiving you to the airport from, before you even fly, or we connect you and ensure all your documentation is in place, whatever shots that you need to take. So again, AfriCarib now, connect there and we can assist you as much as you need. On the ground there before you get there, and again ensuring that you get the proper shots that's needed. Even if you don't want to take shots, there's an avenue for that as well. I am one of a person that I don't believe in putting any and everything into my body. How did I get into Ghana? There's an avenue. There's ways to do that. Traveling, there are two avenues that's been open so far. Is of course to the UK and direct into Ghana. You can go to the US as well. States like Washington, Atlanta, New York have direct flights into Ghana, or some connect into Qatar. But currently, right now, I don't think that route is going to be optional at all. I don't know if I'd want to direct anyone going through Qatar to come down, to come through. There's also, because of the fervor and the growth that's going on, the talk of direct flights between Africa and the Caribbean has been long talked. There are some flights that's happening right now. Peace Air has just launched to St. Lucia from Ghana. Right, Nigeria to Jamaica, if I'm correct, is open now also. Right, and so there are connecting flights that are beginning to develop out to where we could, go direct, which will be around 8 hours as opposed to the 22-hour, between 22 to 40 hour that we normally take.
Okay, let me go back to Melissa, because Melissa is a Caribbean woman, right, who has that Caribbean experience where I can reference to her, right? Melissa, I scary. Me taking a trip to Africa and looking for lions and tigers and bears, and then I have no experience dealing directly, right? I don't. The Africans I know live next door, the Caribbean people, right? I safe? That's why I want to ask, man. I safe when I come safe?
Oh, you have to change your mindset. First of all,
I scary.
You don't know any African. I don't know what you look like, but I'm assuming that you're African.
You look more African than me. Let me say that. You look more African than me.
You can't say, oh, you will know no African. I is African. Your brother right there is African. That's one. Two, Ghana is labeled one of the safest country. Like, you can actually Google it. Ghana is a safe country. Now, I've lived different places. I lived briefly in Guyana. I lived many years, I don't even want to tell my age, but over 25 years in the U.S. And trust me, when it comes to safety, Ghana is safe compared to the U.S., compared to some Caribbean nations. We have to understand, sometimes crime you have to look at it, it's, I would say, crime of opportunity. So if you go someplace and shout and say, oh, I is a foreign, I is plenty USD, come. You're putting yourself out there. You understand? So I wouldn't advise for you to call attention on yourself. for me, being a woman, a single woman who's been here by myself for many years, I've never encountered things that were held up with a gun, which I had happened to me more than once in the States. Assaulted. I haven't experienced any of those things. And I can say, I don't know if my brother know, but I lived in Teshi. Teshi is like, think Gotham City. Think like the most ghetto you could think of. I lived there for 2.5+ years, and the drivers, the Ubers, they were just like, "Oh, you're going? I don't want to go there." And I'm like, I've lived there. I've gotten up 5:30 in the morning, go for my morning walk for 2 hours. Nobody trouble me. It's all about your mindset. Yes, there's crime everywhere, but when I say the crime is limited, it is limited. You don't turn on the TV and hear about gunshots and people are murdered or stabbed and things like that. Now, I'm not going to say everything is shown on the news. For one, I don't watch the news, but I know for a fact when I do my research, so for one, you're safe. You literally can see children walk down the streets and no one trouble them. If anything, the people might question and greet them or whatever, but you're safe. I don't know what type of crime you're thinking of. Yes, there's going to be a little small case of people who are going to take advantage of you because they hear your accent. So they go charge you a little bit more. It's the same thing in the Caribbean. I go home, they call me a Yankee, so I get charged the Yankee price. No problem. You understand? But as far as safety, you can leave the house, like I said, 5:30, do your stroll and walk in the morning. You can walk late at night. For one, I lived in what I consider Gotham City in Accra, and I've never been troubled. So you don't have to worry about safety. And when you say African, that is your brother, that is your sister. They look just like, when you come in for the first time, I'm telling you, I don't know who or how you connected spiritually. You will see people who have your family face, like physical features. And you're like, what the hell? Are you dreaming? So again, you'll be home. And we'll be greatly happy to welcome you home.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I have, I'm speaking to Robin Liburn, who's a Bahamian who has immigrated to Africa, Accra. Accra is Ghana.
Accra, Ghana.
Yes. On Zoom, we have Melissa, who is a Guyanese Caribbean lady who's living in Ghana. And also we have Gabrielle, who owns a cosmetic, I think that's how I pronounce her name.
It's Global Cosmetics, and her name is Mama D.
Mama D, okay. Who has a business right now with Lightburn's business. We can actually import shea butter, and we're going to be talking about that when we come back. Anyway, we're going to take this quick commercial break, and we'll be back shortly.
Just sign in and have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor.
Following is a paid political message.
Find it here. You're looking for truth. Find it here. Vote for MacGyver. Hey! She's here for you. See everybody in Kalani. Change is here. Hey! Hands in the air. Hey, see everybody in Kalani. Vote for MacGyver.
That was a paid political message.
And welcome back. I know I see Kermit sent me a name, Gabrielle, and we have a Bahamian who's also on the Zoom, Gabrielle, who's still in Nassau.
In Nassau.
But she works with Robin in terms of the orientation, preparing yourself either to move to Ghana or prepare yourself to do business with Ghanaians and all of that concept.
Well,
but give me an orientation. Who's Gabrielle again?
More so from the fundamental mindset part of it, right? I am big on mindset, and having embraced this African culture and identity of who I am, I've had to shift my mindset of how to do things that actively worked against what I've been taught, what I've been institutionalized, or just been influenced to think, right? And so Gabrielle is a young Bahamian. She's been watching some of the social media activities that we've been doing. There's a social arm to the whole economic aspect of it as well. And so she's come on board, shared that she believes in what it is that we're doing. And so this is more of the social mental parts of it and be preparing people to embrace Africa. Based on like the question you just asked, what I know about Africa, it scares me. And so shifting the mindset, and as was just stated, we need to do that in order to embrace these opportunities fully as African descended people, Bahamian African descended people.
So let me bring in Gabrielle. Gabrielle, are you there? I just want to bring you into the conversation. I know I had you on earlier, just making sure that you're there and we have a connectivity. It always takes a while to unmute yourself when
Yes,
you
I
want
am.
to.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Gabby? You well?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. I just want to know your take on Persons for Africa, or what is it that you do exactly?
So I am someone who is new to this journey, but since I was young, I mean, it's not that much in between. I am currently 21, turning 22 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been, since a young age, I really wanted to get back to Africa, learning everything that we, even within our social study books and things like that, there are facts that are not necessarily true, which I find to be a problem. So I've been doing a lot of deconstruction mentally lately and trying to also help my friends and people in this generation to do the same.
So explain that to me. What have you been doing?
So,
Like example.
Okay, a lot of research. You have to do a lot of reading, especially now in this generation, the push of AI, artificial intelligence. There's a lot of, for lack of better words, garbage that's being put out there. The more that you look, the more that you can find. But it's okay to start off with social media and TikToks and YouTube videos, but at some point you have to look past that, go into books or look into peer-reviewed, certified, or combed through information.
No, man. I find it exciting. I'm excited for you. And as you, I guess, prepare yourself to venture eventually to Ghana, to Africa, to have your own experience. You say, did you go to UB or you here working?
I was off to school. I was studying psychology. On a break right now currently, but I am an entrepreneur. I have my own agency. We do in media, creative agency, stuff like that, as well as other ventures that I'm on.
Good. And how did you tie in with Robin one time before I have him come back on this conversation?
Interesting enough, I saw an article that was posted on Facebook. Someone had studied at UB saying that we are closely tied to Ghana. They're our closest relatives, I guess you would say. And I saw he had commented on it. I looked at his page. It was like months beforehand. And then I posted something on TikTok. I thought that was pretty aligned. So that's how we got in contact.
Okay, good. So, Robin, so what is it, the objective, like how you have Gabby involved in your concept, right? What is your objective of all of this?
So you would have heard she's starting to delve into this space. She has questions and whatnot. Engaging her, it reminded me of in the beginning of the story when I told you I met the professor at school and she told me this thing and I started delving down the rabbit hole. It was a treasure trove of just pure information out there, right? And so I'm taking this now campaign approach, Reclaim to Realize, which helps to formalize through a programmatic steps, as that's my work, my research as well, developing programs and systems, right? In a programmatic and systematic way that we can actually dive into this, have some guidance in terms of reclaiming our identity, realizing our power, connecting back to our roots, right? And then utilizing the different literature that's out there, the different information that's out there, whether it's research, whether it's facts, whether it's in a social space. But at the same time, there's practical elements involved with that as well too. Because some of the things that brought me into this space and gave me the confidence to dive deep into it, and to say that I am a African Bahamian and not be ashamed or have any weight around it, is being around other people as well too. So communing with like-minded people strengthens the confidence, allows you to develop more aspects, more mindset around it, imagination, and grow around it, and so forth. So the campaign involves all of that activity, connecting with other people, doing actual activities that brings you closer to who your identity is. Some simple as that is an African in our origin, familial, from family, bringing us back to the family, bringing us back to the community. So we have activities that's involved with that as you do in your own personal research journey that we can come together and share and grow as we realize to reclaim.
We are out of time, but I want to know, how do I contact you? The listening audience want to contact you to get some more information, to get some information on how to get in a business or to import stuff, or even get to travel to Ghana. How do they get in contact with you?
So my WhatsApp number is 434-1135. 434-1135. I am on social media as Robin Lightborn or Rob Light. Also, you can connect to our portal africaribnow.com. Register either as an investor, as someone who wants to distribute, or someone who wants to source, or just be a part of the ecosystem. You could find us to baafrica.com, BAHAFRIKA.com. For the logistics, CLX Logistics, CLXnow.com. Again, connect me, 434-1135. I'll get you into all of this.
This has been Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry. Thank you very much, Robin Lightburn. Thank you very much, Glow Cosmetic. Thank you very much for Gabrielle. Thank you very much, Melissa, from Guyana. It has been a great show. Have a wonderful day.
Play with Island Games. We making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay Island Games. We like them other jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We gonna make your dreams come true.
With Lysol, you can disinfect all surfaces inside and outside your home. When used as directed, Lysol eliminates 99.9% of bacteria, fungus, and viruses. Maintain a healthy home by preventing sickness and keeping infections under control. Don't just clean your surfaces, disinfect them. Lysol does more for you and your family. That's our mission for health. Distributed by Thompson Trading Company.
It's back, Agri-Expo 2026, presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, April 10th through 12th at the Gladstone Road Agriculture Center. Agriculture, our heritage, our future, comes alive with the latest farming technologies, exciting cooking demonstrations and competitions. Bahamian farmers and vendors from across the islands, fun for the kids at the kitty corner, nightly musical concerts, and free admission for everyone. And celebrate what feeds our nation. Agri-Expo 2026. Let's get growing.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Gold, silver, bronze, and Little Caesars, everyone wins. Introducing the new hot and ready 3-in-1 pizza, 3 flavors in one, pepperoni, cheese, and Italian sausage and ham. And the winning prize, just $11, VAT included. Whether you're celebrating on the track, in the stands, or on the couch, the 3-in-1 makes you the champion. Michael Road, Pineapple Plaza, Charles Saunders Highway, and Prince Charles. Little Caesars, with the 3-in-1, everyone wins.
Pizza, pizza.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.